Hi friends, today's second science lesson. So I believe if you're watching this for the lesson plan, this is on Tuesday. Today we're going to talk about fossil fuels. So I'm going to teach you a little bit about fossil fuels, and then Kennedy, my videographer,
Hi.
is going to do a little demonstration on how we get fossil fuels. So first of all, fossil fuels are two separate words. Fuels being things that help make things go, like fuel goes into your car to make your car go. Fuel is also made out of something called natural gas. Natural gas helps our stoves to work and our ovens to work. So there are lots of different ways that fuel is used, but it helps to make things go into motion, helps us to use things to go. Now, fossils, part of your lesson today, one thing you can do is I sent you home some molding clay in a little packet, and if you get that out, I wanted you just to have fun and make your own little fossil. A fossil is an imprint of something. So we push something into the clay, and I put a picture on the lesson plan page to show you. We had a little imprint of a swan, so we pressed the swan into the clay and it made a fossil. It made the outline of a swan. So you can see that. If you don't have anything to imprint to make into a fossil, you can just design something. Take a plastic fork or knife, or take a pencil, the edge of a pencil, and just design something in your clay. If you let the clay sit for over 24 hours, it'll become more firm, and you'll have the imprint of something, of an animal, and that is called a fossil. So a fossil is what is made out of dead and decaying animals. It's an imprint. So now we have fossil fuels, which is what we're going to talk about today. Fossil fuels are when you put those two words together, dead and decaying animals or plants, and they turn into fuel that we can use. So I want you to remember the most three common fossil fuels that we have. I'll say them and then you repeat them after me. Ready? Three common fossil fuels: coal, oil, natural gas. Now you say it. Good. There are three common fossil fuels that we use: coal, oil, and natural gas. Now the cool thing about that is they come from the earth, but they take hundreds and thousands of years to create them. And I'm going to show you how they get created in just a second. But the problem with fossil fuels is that they're not going to be renewable. They're non-renewable. Now technically we can get them, more of them, but it will take thousands and thousands of years, and we're using them faster than we're remaking them. So that's the problem with non-renewable coal, oil, and natural gas fossil fuels, is that we're using so much gas for our cars that we're not making enough oil to make more gasoline. So that's the problem with this. Now, what you're going to look at on your page is what I'm going to show you how fossil fuels come about. Kennedy's going to go do a demonstration for us. All right, Kennedy. So first thing first is we have our animals. This is just a typical day. The animals are out. You can see them. We have cows and pigs and sheep. The animals are out. And then, just like anything else, at some point something happens and the animals die. All right, so the animals die. Well, then life happens and boom, years and years and years, the animals are dead and they are just pushed into the ground more and more and more into the soil, and they are become dead and decaying plants and animals. Now the interesting part about this is that dead and decaying plants and animals will eventually turn into fossil fuels. Now they can go into the land, or some, like animals in the ocean, when they die, they go down into the sand and the rocks, and they are no longer, they are in the ground, and then we have to make them into the oil and the coal and the natural gas. So some fossil fuels come from dead and decaying animals in the ground, and then some fossil fuels come from dead and decaying animals in the ocean floor. So that's the interesting part about them, is they are buried way down, but it takes thousands and thousands and thousands of years where the land keeps building on top of all those dead and decaying animals before we can dig out some coal, or we can dig out some natural gas and some oil, things like that. So the things I want you to remember today are fossil fuels are found under the ground. Fossil fuels take a long time to build. They are from dead and decaying animals and plants. That's what they're made out of. And the three most common ones: coal, oil, natural gas. And we use them for a lot of different things. For gasoline, to run our car. We use them to cook on our stove. And they are a good source of energy that we can make into electricity. But eventually they're going to run out because they are not renewable. So that is how fossil fuels come into making. They are dead and decaying animals that eventually we get it out of the earth or the ocean and make it into coal, oil, and natural gas. All right, friends, hopefully that makes sense. Go ahead and finish page 81 and 82. It's just a lot of looking at the pictures and figuring it out, and then fill in the answers. I'll see you soon.